I have a great relationship with Conor, and he's always treated me with the highest level of respect.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
He is a good guy. He just makes bad decisions, and he likes his drinks, and he's Irish, and he came from a tough part. Like, you can have all that money, man, but you still have that inside where you grew up. And he came from really tough streets in Ireland, really bad neighborhood, and he's made it out. So here's the deal. I think Big John told me this story. So Conor was already a good striker. He walks in to SBG, where there were already some established fighters. John Kavanagh, the first black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in Ireland. Trained up here to get it, but in Ireland. Conor comes in, like, all right, I'm going to test this guy, see what's up. Conor's tooling people. And John's like, bring it down, bro. Like this is practice. And he's lighting people up. So John said, all right, you want to be a world champion? Because that's what Conor said when he walked in the door. You want to be a world champion? Conor's like, yeah. So John got him in a position with his jits where it's like the crucifix, whatever it was. Like, he couldn't defend himself. And Kavanagh punched him in the ribs for 30 minutes. 30 fucking minutes. Just, I don't think he was burying it, but he was continuously doing this. And Kavanagh told me when Conor came back to the gym the next day, that's when he knew the kid was special. Wow. And he was willing to put in the work.
Wow.
This is an exclusive story. I've never heard of Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And this is a side people need to see of him, because I don't think a lot of new MMA fans don't realize how special this guy was at the height of his career.
He really, I go back to the Dennis Seaver fight.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like much because of all the stuff that's happened since then. And Conor knew he was making money because he wore the black hat as well as anybody, but it just got out of hand. It just got out of hand. And the remake of Roadhouse, what you had to act to be in the A-team. You had to do some things like Mr. T. All Conor did was the same shit he does every single day. Get in fights and talk with a really deep Irish accent.
Bro, that first
tell
clip,
people to fuck off.
Bro, that first clip I saw him that got released, I was like, Conor ain't acting. That's the first thing I said online.
That's it.
That was great.
It was great. He said it right when the movie came out.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on when WWE reached out for you to do the voice for Monday Night Raw?
I was honored. I swear to God, I was honored. I grew up a Hulk Hogan fan.
Yeah.
I was in college, first WrestleMania.
Brother.
Like we are, yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, brother. I'll tell you what, Mean Gene.
Yeah, exactly.
I Mean Gene Okerlund, whose son was on the 1984 men's Olympic hockey team, Todd Okerlund, because they're Minnesota guys. So Mean Gene lived down in Sarasota where my first job was. Years later, I get this call, and of course I'm like, it's the WWE. I know what it is, but production-wise and entertainment-wise and it's the shit, and it still is. And so I went up there, and their executive producer, Kevin Dunn, had a stack of UFC DVDs. So they had done their homework. Now, I think there was a little bit of Vince wanting to take me away from Dana because WWE was going back to USA, and the UFC was taking over the Monday nights on Spike. I left there like ready to sign. Like, it was a 3-year deal. It was guaranteed. I had health insurance. I had everything that I needed, and it made sense for my family. Like, my kids were young. And I literally, the truth is I just told Dana and Lorenzo what they offered me because I didn't want to leave. I was honored to go there, but I didn't want to leave. I've been in Casino Magic enough times, man. I ate at the Cracker Barrel in Kenner, Louisiana enough. I wanted to see, like, this beautiful yacht, the WWE has already ported all over the world. Our yacht was still in the water, but you knew we were getting really close to a cool-ass island.
Yeah. Probably
Probably owned exclusively by the Fertittas, but it was going to be great. And Joe, on that Monday night before I was going to be gone the next Monday, he's like, Goldie, you're not going to leave me to do porn, are you? You're not going to do porn? And I'm like laughing, and Dana did the math. He said, keep in mind, Goldie, you'll do 52 shows with them. So we're going to pay you this much per show. And it was less money at the time, but then we doubled our shows. And Joe literally also was a big proponent at that time. The show was at the Hard Rock. He went upstairs, talked to Dana and Lorenzo. He said, I love Goldie. He's my guy. We've got great chemistry. Don't mess with it. Don't let him go.
Wow.
Like, don't let him go.
Wow.
And I think now that you look at everything that's gone down, I mean, the sale still bums me out because I think I was one of the pieces that should have continued. But it's not for me to decide. And I'm much like Q, people know what we've gone through, but I'm not going to be a fucking whiner about it. Nobody wants to hear that because that just brings you down to anybody else's level. But obviously I was smashed. I was heartbroken because I helped build that product as a soundtrack like he did.
Yeah.
And it just became a time in which I just wanted to keep on the voyage. And I'm glad I did because I saw the world in my days with the UFC. I remember having my 100th UFC party. It was actually UFC 91 because of the Spike shows. And it was Randy against Brock.
Wow.
So my first was Randy beating Maurice for the heavyweight title. My second was Brock and Randy for the heavyweight belt. And it looked like Rocky and Hulk Hogan in the movie Thunder Lips, The Ultimate Male. Like Randy had to get a step ladder to get up and punch him in the first round. And then he got finished. And Randy Couture, Captain America, that man is my hero. Guy showed up at the after party. It was just such a family. It was such a family. And I truly believe that business is business. We know that, right?
Right.
But Lorenzo is about family. You know that. And I'm sure there was part of him that it broke his heart a little bit, that his family was broken up because there were over 100 people that were let go with the sale. And on the same hand, he's been in business long enough to know, well, this is how it works, right?